It's 9 o'clock on Wednesday, December 11th. Time for the weekly Logansport Board of Works and Safety meeting. I'm going to call the meeting to order, and please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Chris Armstrong?
Here.
Ron Miller?
Present.
Mayor Franklin?
Here. Approval of minutes from the December 4th, 2013 meeting.
I reviewed the minutes, and I would make a motion that we approve as presented the minutes from the December 4th, 2013 meeting.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, passes on a vote of 3-0. Under approval of claims in the amount of $199,274.85.
I have reviewed the claims. I make a motion that we approve as presented the claims in the amount of $199,274.85.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion?
None.
Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, passes on a vote of 3-0. There are no licenses for consideration. Are there any visitor comments?
See none.
Hearing none. Under old business, Code Enforcement Officer.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Old business, we have first on your list on the agenda, 1721 East Market Street.
I took current pictures of that this morning. You folks should have a copy of it in front of you. She was here approximately a month ago at the board's request. With her physically here, she was granted a 1-month extension. Her intentions at that time were to move the items in her yard into her daughter's house as her daughter was moving Thanksgiving weekend to North Carolina, I believe. However, you can see from the pictures there's been no movement whatsoever. My recommendation would be a cleanup. This was originally sent out. The original letter went to her on September the 23rd. So we got October, November, we got 2.5 months.
When was the first letter sent?
September the 23rd. The original notice to appear was sent October 22nd, and she originally appeared November the 13th. So that would have been a month ago that she was here, that the board granted her another week. She was physically here. I would like to notate that.
Open for discussion.
Well, this is going to be a pretty big job to clean up, and maybe we should do what we did last week and not put this on top of the street department while they're still doing this other stuff. It needs to be cleaned up. And I just looked at the calendar. The 1st January and the New Year's the 1st, so that we're not going to meet that day. Do we meet any day that week, or like we move it to a Thursday?
We'll have it on 31st. Is that correct? Usually it's the day before.
Okay. So that's a possibility, the 31st of December, or putting it on the agenda for the 8th of January. But we're apparently going to have to clean this up, and it's going to be a big job.
I agree with your line of thinking, and maybe the best thing to do is to order the property cleanup to take place after December 30th.
Yeah, that's kind of sort of.
I mean, we've already dealt with it. We set a clear deadline. Although we've done that before, we just haven't had a response. I'm not sure what the issue is and what the holdup is, but I think we do have to act on it.
I think the deal is it's so big and she doesn't have any place to take it.
Yeah.
And by this point, if it's furniture, it's ruined.
I would make the motion that we approve a property. No, I'm sorry. That we order a property cleanup to take place on or after December 30th, 2013.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? This is in reference to the property at 1721 East Market Street. So that it's been moved and properly seconded to order a property cleanup on or after December 30th, 2013 at that location. Is there any discussion?
Should I send her a letter advising her of that?
Yes, absolutely. We will do it ourselves if it's not completed by December 30th. And that will make it 3 months since we had the initial contact. It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, passes on a vote of 3-0. Next one, 519 Front Street, Wade Volts.
Mr. Volz has cleaned his property up.
Okay.
It does meet the requirements.
Cleared. 1513 Spear Street.
1513 Spear Street. I took current pictures this morning. You should have those in the small packet I gave you this morning. Since he was here 2 weeks ago, there's been no additional improvements on it. And he was sent a follow-up letter advising him that action would be taken today if he did not clean it up. Those pictures were taken just shortly after 8 o'clock this morning.
I would make the same motion that we order a property cleanup at 1513 Spear Street to be effective on or after December 30th, 2013. It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any more discussion?
None.
That's December 30th, correct?
On or after December 30th, if it hasn't been completed, and we'll let the Public Works Department schedule the cleanup when it's most convenient for them. I know they're still battling leaves and limbs and trees from the storm, and we have to be aware of the strain that we put on their department. They're trying to get those things finished before they totally freeze to the ground. So it's been moved and properly seconded regarding the property cleanup at 1513 Spear Street. Is there any discussion? Is there anybody here representing 1513 Spear Street? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. That's all the old business. We'll see you in a few minutes.
All right.
Under new business, NIPSCO has requested a curb cut. And this went through Carol Sue's office. Bill, are you aware of anything to do with this? Oh, Dan's handling that?
Dan, I believe.
Dan Williams? Yes. Yeah. Can you come up? NIPSCO, a curb
Yes,
cut request
yes,
to retire
yes.
a gas line?
Thank you. I received that last week. I did visit and inspect where the curb cut is, and I do approve that.
Is it on the street that cuts through Eastgate?
Yes.
I would.
Do you have a map in front of you?
I do, but it's hard to tell. There's no measurements on it. I mean, I think it's the street that cuts through. It'd be the south end of West Roselawn.
Yes. I've got it here. Yeah, I see no better place to do it than the place that they have picked.
Okay. I would just ask you to guarantee that the street is repaired
Put
to.
it back in the order that it was when
Yeah,
they did
with
that.
the repair is done in the right way, and that it's not going to collapse later on.
Yep.
I would make the motion that we approve the request for the curb cut and the street opening in the area of 3065 and 3067 East Market Street to allow for retirement of a gas line.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. Okay, under new business, Chief Strong. Mark, first you have up hiring of firefighter Jim Porter.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
Jim was sick and couldn't be here today, but I do need to make a correction. Jim will be our 31st position, and Brian will be our 32nd position. I had that wrong on Brian's
Okay.
thing. But anyway, I would like the approval to hire Jim Porter Jim was a former member of our fire department that left several years ago and has got experience. He's still Clinton Township Fire Department. He's on there. He's been a firefighter too since 2003. With the experience he has and everything, I'd like to have him come back on the fire department. He'll start around January 1st, somewhere right in there.
Okay. I had the pleasure of working with Jim for about 5 years during his first stint with the fire department. He's an excellent firefighter and always showed up for work and didn't complain very much. Is there any discussion regarding the hiring of Jim Porter as a pensioned Logansport firefighter? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Passes on a vote of 3-0.
I'd also like approval to hire Brian Isles, and Brian is here today with his family. And Brian has completed everything. Brian is currently a firefighter at the Cass County Fire District. He's got experience, and that's what we need. He's a 32-year-old resident of the city of Logansport, which is nice. It's kind of hard to hire a fireman anymore that lives within the city, so that was another extra good find there for us. He's a 2000 graduate from Logansport High School, and he's a 2005 graduate from Ball State University.
Wow, that was before.
Yeah, that was not good. Like I said, he has several years' experience as a firefighter. He's been a firefighter too since 2009. He's also an EMT, which is valuable to the department, a hazmat first responder operations level, instructor 1, and has firefighter officer strategy and tactics, which is all good stuff that we need at our department. So I'd like approval to hire him as our 32nd fireman to fill that position. He will also start around January 1st, somewhere right in there.
I could also say that I've watched Brian through the years, played Little League for a few years, and have observed his career advance from afar, and I think he will make an excellent addition to the fire department. I know he's going to fit right in with the men, and I know he can do the job. So I would make the motion that we approve the hiring of Brian Isles as a probationary firefighter for Logansport Fire Department.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed. Passes on a vote of 3-0. Chief, those are going to start after January 1st?
Most likely. There's a possibility one might start on like the 31st, one might start on the 1st. I'm not sure. Still working out the dates exactly, but they will all start within the first week of January.
Okay. We'll talk about that after this meeting if we can. All right. That one, that's all the new business.
And we'll swear Brian in after the meeting?
That'll be
correct?
fine. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Reports. Building Commissioner.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi,
I
Bill.
have submitted my report for your review. Open for any questions or comments on that report. I really have nothing to add to that report this week.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if you would, who is the tenant for the second floor of the PNC building? Do you know?
At the third floor of the PNC building, I'm not sure, it's a state agency, but I'm not quite sure what the actual name of the group is.
Yeah. Okay. Looks like everything's in order.
A lot of stuff going on in town.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on. It's hard to start anything new this late in the year with the weather coming in and everything. So, all right, I would make the motion that we approve the building department report as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Passes on a vote of 3-0.
Good morning again.
Good morning.
All right, in front of you, you have my weekly report for your review and approval. If you don't have any questions, I'll go straight into the notices to appear. The only ones that I made copies of you for are the ones that I'm requesting any type of movement on. So if you don't have a copy of it, it's because it's been cleared and there's no action going to be requested. First one is 1208 Michigan Avenue. 1208 Michigan Avenue. First letter went out November 15th, notice to appear went out November 25th. There's been no action. They did not sign, they were delivered, but refused to sign for it or accept a certified letter requesting them to appear today. You have current pictures as of yesterday afternoon in front of you. I would request that we send them a letter giving them until Monday, the 23rd of December, to clean that up. And if not, I would request that we take action on it.
I'd make the motion that we grant the request of the code enforcement officer to extend this until Monday, December 23rd.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion?
This
is regarding the property at 1208 Michigan Avenue.
Right. Do you want me to bring them back to the Board of Works, or do you want to do like we did the last two and just on or after for the street department?
Bring them back.
Okay.
This one, when did the first notice go out on 1208 Michigan Avenue?
1208, first notice went out November 15th, so about a month ago.
Okay. All right. Next.
The next one is 1931 Spear Street. When I inspected that yesterday, the violation was still there. However, when I re-inspected it this morning, it has been cleaned, so no movement on that one. The next one is 715 North 5th Street. I would request the same thing on that one that I did on Michigan Avenue, that we give them till the 23rd. Bring them back in front of the board on the 20. Are we going to have a meeting on the 24th?
I believe we will on the 24th. Carol Sue?
Okay, I will bring them along with 1208 Michigan Avenue back to the board on the 24th.
Okay. I make the motion that we continue the property cleanup request at 715 North 5th Street until December 23rd meeting. It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? All right. Regarding 715 North 5th Street, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0, extended till December 23rd. Next.
Next is 1306 Peter Street. This is at least the third violation this year on that resident. Their original letter went out to them on November the 15th as well. Due to the fact that they are a repeat violator, I would ask for a cleanup to be ordered on that one today. It is owned by an out-of-town investor who owns several properties around town. That several of his properties have been violated this year.
1306 Peter Street.
Yes. I didn't take current pictures of it because when I inspected it yesterday, it is in the exact same condition that it was in when I took the pictures back on the 14th of November.
I make the motion that we order a property cleanup for 1306 Peter Street to occur on or after December 30th of this year, and that's only after you send one more letter telling them of the decision, the board's ruling.
Mayor Franklin, that December the 23rd date is on a Monday. Are we going to make that on Tuesday the 24th?
Yeah, Tuesday the 24th would be our meeting date. We're trying to add a little more cushion for code enforcement so that he's not out on the morning of our Board of Works meeting trying to take photographs in the dark. Okay, after 1306 Peter Street, you have 1214 Erie.
I would ask for the same thing there, that on or after the 30th. I take that back. I would ask that we send them another letter giving them until the 23rd. If it's not cleaned up on the 23rd, request they appear on the 24th.
I make the motion that we grant an extension until Board of Works meeting to be held on December 24th, contingent upon the request that was just made by the Code Enforcement Officer.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, passes on a vote of 3-0. And last, 917th Street.
Again, I did not take any current pictures because there's been no change. This house is a foreclosure, has been for well over a year now. It's owned by a bank out of Jacksonville, Florida. They did receive notice. It was delivered December 2nd, notice to appear. The original letter went out to them on November the 18th. It's quite a mess. I would request that we go with property cleanup on or after December 30th with no additional notification to them other than a letter telling them that it will be cleaned up on or after the 30th.
I make the motion that we order a property cleanup to take place on or after December 30th, 2013 regarding the property at 917th Street.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, passes on a vote of 3-0. I would make the motion that we approve the Code Enforcement Officer's report as presented.
Second.
And it's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, passes on a vote of 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Superintendent of Public Works.
Good morning.
Give me just a second, Dan.
I respectfully submit my report for the Public Works Department for the City of Logansport. Hopefully you have time to thumb through it. And if you have any questions, then I ask for your approval.
How much longer do you think it's going to take to complete the leaves?
I sort of thought you may ask that question this morning. So, believe it or not, we've had some luck. 2 of our vacuums went down last Friday, and we had, or it would have been a lot probably done last week. By the end of the week, I think all the big things, that you see lined up will be done, and then we're going to make one more. We're going to start Monday making one more trip through every part of town for just, like hit and miss.
Okay.
So
you
all
think
the
by
big
the
stuff
20th?
by this Friday will be done.
By this Friday?
Yes.
Will be finished, and then you're going to do one more final dressing?
We always go through every street and drive up and down, and what we call a hit or miss.
Okay.
And then our emphasis will be on we're still cleaning up after the storm, so.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And then I have to tell you that I noticed the salt truck out, the brine truck, distributing the liquid salt, and it appeared to work pretty good.
This has been an ideal situation for it. We haven't had, like 3 or 4 inches that come down within an hour.
Right.
That's the only time. But if you pre-treat it, it keeps it from freezing, so it's a lot easier when we do get our plows out.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I make a motion we approve the Superintendent of Public Works report as presented.
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All
Thank
opposed,
you.
passes on a vote of 3-0. Thank you, Dan. Chief Clark.
Good morning. I've submitted my monthly report for the Logansport Police Department for the month of November and would entertain any questions you may have.
The animal warden calls of 57, is that an average month?
A little higher. It's generally in the 40s.
Do
But,
they pick up an animal when they go out, do you know?
excuse me?
Does the warden pick up an animal most of the time when they get called out on that?
Just depends on what the problem is. They may talk to the owner. As a last resort, they would confiscate the animal and take it. But he tries to take care of the problem, whatever at hand,
Is that 57 in the city, or is that 57 total city and county?
in the city.
In the city alone?
the city.
You keep track of the numbers for the county?
No, I don't.
No.
No.
Can we start doing that?
Sure. Sure.
I'd make the motion that we approve the chief's report as presented.
Second?
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, passes on a vote of 3-0.
Thank you.
Fire chief is excused at this point. He usually has his report. His information comes in 1 week later than the chief's, the police chief's report. So next we have Parks Department. Hi, Jan.
This is a new experience for me,
Thank you for being
but
here.
I'm glad to do it. I always submit a management report to the Parks Board, and they are meeting this evening, so this is the report that they will receive as well. I don't know if you've had a chance to read through it at all, but I think pretty much most of our work has been spent winterizing the parks, getting them ready for the winter. It means clearing out the lines and all the water lines and getting toilets and sinks and things like that with some antifreeze in them. Then also irrigation is always blown out as well. That's our big concern, is making sure water lines don't freeze up with water in them. So, and then of course getting things ready for the holidays, getting Little Turtle and Heritage Park decorated, and Gene Cole Park is decorated. So I think we're I think we're rolling now. So if you haven't been by Little Turtle, it looks pretty good now. So we did receive a donation of perennials and from Home Depot's contractor. It was like 2 trailer loads. So those are available for, as far as I'm concerned, for anybody, because there's more than we'll ever use in the park. So if the fire department or anybody wants to use some of those perennials, they're at the greenhouse, the corrections crew's greenhouse. So that was a pretty neat thing to receive. So.
Yeah.
We've also been trying to get playgrounds. We have one broken slide that we are getting ready to replace, but the whole structure needed to be revamped so we could do that. So they've got that started, and installing safety surfacing at Patriot Park. The other thing we've been working on is the wildlife removal from the interior of the Spencer Park restroom. So we've had, I think they've already caught a groundhog up in the roof area, or, up underneath. Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, we're working on that as well. So and getting ready for 2014 programs. That's the other big thing we're doing. And
Having not seen your report before, and not being a golfer, and knowing that Dykeman does get an awful lot of play,
Yeah.
are the guys and gals still playing golf?
yeah, there are some of those diehards that are out there. Really, although I doubt that they're there right now, but I think they have to have sunshine and no wind, so
Thank
to
you.
really enjoy themselves. I do a formal numbers report for the golf course. If
Right.
you want that as well, I'd be glad to share that as well, because it's hard. We don't have numbers as much as what other people, or the other folks do, as far as response to emergencies and things like that. So this is the kind of, ours is more a narrative kind of report than a numbers report. But the golf report is a numbers report. So
Did you get a dollar amount on the damage up at Houston Park with the vehicle?
yeah, it was almost $3,000.
$3,000.
And Randy and I are working on trying to get that family to come up with.
Yeah.
It was a big chunk for a family that can't really hardly afford it, and so I don't know how we're going to.
Yeah, and did we have another incident maybe on the south side over by
At Fairview,
Yeah.
and I'm still waiting on the report from the county sheriffs, who were the ones that discovered that one. So
Okay.
On 11/20, you attended an NCAA. What was that?
what it is in order to bring a sports event to a community, let's say the girls softball of America would put out a bid specification, and then you can, if you're keeping on top of what those bids are, you can apply or submit a plan to work on that bid, so that you can. And that's one of the things I don't know very much about, but in order to bring those kind of big events to Logansport, that's the kind of thing we'll have to do, so.
And is that the kind of thing like for that Little League?
The Ohio Valley. The Ohio Valley's really got that well set. They're, they've been working with the Cal Ripken League regionally, and they really, I think our next one is in 2015, but they really like Fairview Park, and so I think they're going to keep on coming back there. So I don't have to worry. And really the Little League folks have been the key people in that one, not the Parks Department. We do whatever we can to support them and making that successful.
Does the city do anything like soccer tournaments, men's or women's?
That's coming as we get Houston Park all lined up. That's what we're, finished up. That's the kinds of things that we really want to do up there, because we've always felt like that's going to be an economic generator for different events with that big land, all that big field there. So.
Well, Jan, it's nice to see you here. I like the report. It's informative, and I know it's something new for you. It's something new for us as well, and
Well, doing the report's not new, but I'm glad to
right.
to bring
Just
it
being
in,
at the Board of Works meeting, presenting the report, so it works out well. I appreciate having all the information, and we'll go from there. I make the motion we approve the Parks Department report as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. It passes on a vote of 3-0. Are there any board member comments?
No.
None. Miscellaneous business, including ADA Section 504 compliance and concerns, or any other matters not already considered?
See none.
None. Okay, and last,
Motion to adjourn?
motion to adjourn. We're adjourned.